For me, there's a simple rule in politics. Never, ever be surprised by what happens in politics.
The face of truth is open. The eyes of truth are bright. The lips of truth are ever closed. The head of truth is upright. The breast of truth stands forward. The gaze of truth is straight. Truth has neither fear nor doubt. Truth has patience to wait. The words of truth are touching. The voice of truth is deep. The law of truth is simple. All you sow, you reap. The soul of truth is flaming. The heart of truth is warm. The mind of truth is clear and firm through rain and storm. Facts are only its shadow. Truth stands above all sin. Great be the battle of life. Truth in the end shall win. The image of truth is the cross. Wisdom's message is its rod. The sign of truth is Christ, and the soul of truth is God. Life of truth is eternal. Immortal is its past. Power of truth shall endure. Truth shall hold to the last.
I don't have to tell you things are bad. Everybody knows things are bad. It's a depression. Everybody's out of work or scared of losing their job. The dollar buys a nickel's worth. Banks are going bust. Shopkeepers keep a gun under the counter. Punks are running wild in the street, and there's nobody anywhere who seems to know what to do, and there's no end to it. We know the air is unfit to breathe, our food is unfit to eat. We sit watching our TVs while some local newscaster tells us that today we had 15 homicides and 63 violent crimes, as if that's the way it's supposed to be. We know things are bad, worse than bad. They're crazy. It's like everything everywhere is going crazy, so we don't go out anymore. We sit in the house, and slowly the world we're living in is getting smaller, and all we say is, please, at least leave us alone in our living room. Let me have my toaster and my TV and my steel-belted radios, and I won't say anything. Just leave us alone. Well, I'm not going to leave you alone. I want you to get mad. I don't want you to protest. I don't want you to riot. I don't want you to write to your congressman because I wouldn't know what to tell you to write. I don't know what to do about the depression and the inflation and the Russians and the crime in the street. All I know is that first, you've got to get mad. You've got to say, I'm a human being. God damn it. My life has value.
This one will be put up for the Road March competition this year. Hello everyone, welcome to another edition of the world's most monitored talk show. NewsSpin is on Power 97.9 FM. It's also on the Facebook page as well as the YouTube channel. Don't forget, like the video, share, subscribe to the YouTube channel, and click the notification bell to help the NewsSpin channel grow. My name is Timothy Poleon, alongside Jante, who is going through the comments in the chat rooms. We'll be together until 2 o'clock this afternoon. And I'm already standing by for your calls at 452-2979, 452-2979. WhatsApp calls and messages 716-2026, 716-2026. Let's turn our attention immediately to our NewsSpin question of the day. And the NewsSpin question of the day, it reads, how can we build lasting peace between Barron's Drive and Palmist? Again, the NewsSpin question of the day, and it reads, how can we build lasting peace between Barron's Drive and Palmist? And we know what has been going through those two communities over the last few years, which has resulted in several interventions, and know that there would have been some cessation in violence between the two sides, but it appears that things have not reached a point where the peace is permanent. Some of your responses to that NewsSpin question of the day. One of them reads, the host of NewsSpin should have a live show in the area to do as he just asked so he can play his part in bringing peace. Another comment, for that to be achieved, parents must know that they are the shepherd of their sheep and for them to take full responsibility for their children. The society lived on and what it received. If we give the bad and indiscipline to the state, that is what we will receive, which means you cannot give sour orange and expect to eat sweet oranges. So let's make first from our homes loving and caring children, and the society will give you back to you what you give it. Another response, ask auntie. Another one says there, how can we, when the only time the government shows that they care is during an election? Another response to the question, ask the SLP Parliament rep. These politicians are solely culpable in the erosion of peace and the resulting social degradation throughout this little land of ours. The other one says, when the killings were taking place down south, the SLP said that to make them put their guns down, the government have to give them contracts because as a gang leader, he has boys that depend on them, and that so of the boys are family to feed. So give them those contracts for them to keep more guns or to buy more guns. Another one says they need to show better examples in the House of Assembly, stop the bullying, so the young men will follow by example. The rep needs to call a secret meeting and invite both sides to attend so she can try to curb this war among the young men. Another one says, first we have to know what the issue is in an effort to try to quell it. Another one says, go ask Granny E. Some more of your responses, stop the bullying of one man in Parliament. And finally somebody says, if we stop electing criminals in government. Some of your responses to the NewsSpin question of the day. How can we build lasting peace between Barron's Drive and Palmist? Yesterday there was a shooting incident at the mini stadium over in Soufrière. 2 people were shot as a result. And officially we can report that the police responded to that incident at about 10:30 yesterday morning after being alerted to that incident at New Development Soufrière. 2 people, as I said before, were shot in the process. And 38-year-old Cleus Joseph, also known as Gramaxone of Fort-Bernier Soufrière, he succumbed to his injuries, and the other victim remains in critical condition. According to a press release from the Press Relations Department of the Royal St. Lucia Police Force, 2 males are assisting police with their investigation. So the latest we have on this incident, which occurred at the Soufrière Mini Stadium yesterday, is that 2 men were shot, and in the process, 1 individual succumbed to his injuries. 38-year-old Cleas Joseph, alias Gramaxone, and the other victim remains in critical condition, and 2 males are assisting police with their investigations. This program is being monitored around the world. So one individual who had been at the center of efforts to quell the disturbance which has certainly existed between those 2 communities. We're talking about Barons Drive and Palmist. He is now overseas. And the individual called NewsSpin yesterday, and he identified himself as an individual who was once part of the Soufrière Regional Development Foundation, former Youth Development Officer there, Johnson Simon. And he called the broadcast yesterday to express concern and to call on the warring factions to reach a point where they certainly can coexist in the west coast town of Soufrière.
I just want to speak on the situation going on in Soufrière, which is very volatile right now. We have had 1 murder in the last week and 1 gunshot victim today. I know I have friends in both Palmis and the Barons Drive area and throughout the entire constituency. I'm just pleading to the young boys in the community, the parents, the family members, if you can speak to anyone who's involved or may think of getting involved in this current situation, to ask for de-escalation and to calm down this situation, because this situation can explode beyond Soufrière borders and we could have a lot of casualties. So I'm pleading to parents, community leaders, the police, anyone who could speak to those involved to de-escalate the situation, because it's going to reach a fever pitch in Soufrière and we could head for a major disaster. So I just wanted to make that comment, because we can't have any more gunshot victims or deaths in Soufrière or throughout the entire island. We need to get this situation under control.
Let me ask you, Colin, just one question before we conclude. This must really be of tremendous concern to you, because, when we are in St. Lucia, we are here in the middle of things, and sometimes we understand, the sequence of events, we know the backstory, but it's another issue when you are overseas and you are hearing those things. You tend to be even more concerned, right?
Yes, yes, because when I was at the foundation, Soufrière Foundation, in my capacity as a youth officer, we had a similar situation with friends who turned into rivals, and it was the same situation, shootings, and then myself and another youth officer in Soufrière, we reached out to the parents, and then we brought them into a meeting and we asked them to speak to their children who were involved. We brought them into a conference, a closed-door conference, and we requested that they come along with the children. And we had a good talk. We brought in the police. The police spoke to them. And through that, we were able to prevent any further bloodshed and any deaths within the community. So I wish I was down there in Soufrière. I know it's very tense right now, but I wish I was down there to reach out to some parents or community leaders. And I think that's what we need to do there, because the police most likely can react to the crime. They may not be able to prevent it at this moment because they can't be everywhere within the community. But I think parents and community leaders can reach out and make a difference. Because one of my family members, he was the latest victim in Soufrière, and the 2 young gentlemen before him, Anthony, and I think it was Hank out of Palmis, I knew them very well. So it's been like losing friends and community affiliates throughout the years, So I really don't want to attend another funeral or have another funeral.
Johnson Simon, with a genuine plea there to those warring factions over in Palmis and Barons Drive. He did so yesterday during a call to NewsSpin. I don't think it has reached a point where things have deteriorated to the extent that the warring factions cannot make peace. It's not the war occurring right now in the Middle East where you have in the Middle East you have a ceasefire in that war between Israel, the U.S., and also Iran. That's not reached that stage, obviously, but I think with the proper intervention and the willingness for there to be peace, that certainly that goal can be achieved. We hope that all the players will work towards that. And somebody said, I think it was the MP, current MP for Soufrière Saint-Jacques, recently said that this situation has been ongoing. And I came across, incidentally, a press release that is dated July the 6th of 2020. The headline is Breaking News, Peace Treaty Meeting Held Between Rival Groups in Soufrière. And it reads that on Friday, July 3rd, 2020, the Office of the Parliamentary Representative for Soufrière Saint-Jacques, Harold Stanislas, organized an anti-violence peace treaty meeting between rival groups in the community at the Cool Breeze Conference Room from 4 p.m. This event was held under the theme, We Are One, Say No to Guns, and was led by a small delegation of community leaders in an effort to address and find solutions in order to mitigate and curb the recent spate of gun violence in the community. Part of the delegation included Pastor Kendall Augustine of the Christ is the Answer Church, Johnny Joseph, Director of Gender Relations at the Ministry of Education, Corporal Marbut Octave of the Soufrière Criminal Investigation Division, Shaka Esnad, President of Team Unite Youth Group, and Johnson Simon. You just heard from Johnson Simon, Youth Development Officer at the Soufrière Foundation. The parliamentary rep and other speakers addressed the gathering and provided words of encouragement, upliftment, motivation, and ways to better channel their energies in a more positive direction as part of that press release. So again, more evidence that this incident has been going on for a few years now, and definitely they have not been able to reach some kind of lasting, permanent peace. Let us work towards that with regard to rival gangs and those communities over in Soufrière. I think that goal definitely can be achieved. We have a lot to discuss on our broadcast this afternoon. We open the lines right now at 452-2979, 452-2979. Your WhatsApp calls and messages 716-2026. But before that, let us hear from the island's Prime Minister, Mr. Philip J. Pierre. Remember the whole discussion about the granting of the $1,000 grant over to pregnant women as of August the 1st, or women who have given birth as of August the 1st and registered those children. This certainly has caused a lot of discussion, particularly on NewsSpin, and people have interpreted it wrongly. And I have said this, and it's worth repeating, I'm sure, that the Prime Minister did not say to the women of St. Lucia, get yourself pregnant, and I will provide you with this $1,000 incentive. That is not the case. The Prime Minister just yesterday during the pre-cabinet briefing took the opportunity yet again to explain his intentions, and he also went on to say that the $1,000 grant was never meant to be enough.
Well, the $1,000 grant was never meant to be enough, you know. Never meant to be enough. It was, you see, people of lower income people, when they go when they have their babies are expensive, right? Now, we think we remove the understand, and I can stand corrected that there is no VAT on baby pampers. These steps. So the $1,000 grant is just an incentive to help people in their initial expenses. It wasn't meant, it's not a reward, nor is it a payment, nor it is not something that they give you because the government wants you to make children. No, it's just support in the initial stages, so you can have some money to buy the initial things for your baby. It's far from enough. It was never meant to be enough, nor was it meant to be any situation where the government is giving you an incentive to make babies. But what it is, it's support for you, for mothers, especially low-income mothers.
You just heard there from the island's Prime Minister, Mr. Philip J.P. I hope this would put this whole matter to rest. You think it would, or it will? Let's hear from you right now at 452-2979, 452-2979. WhatsApp calls and messages 716-2026, 716-2026. Somebody says there, I think Alvin Wonderland is in desperate need of a since that's your role speech. Choices. Who do I monitor today? Okay, let's see if we have a WhatsApp message. And somebody says, Tim, the PM sounds like a comic. Only $1,000 sounds like you are insulting the women. And yet another WhatsApp message. And it says that when you come to the House of Assembly and you're doing like you are only talking to Alan and not the people that voted for you, and you are using words like micro, do you think that the majority of the people understand what you're talking about or the meaning of that word when you cannot even break it down so that the common man can understand? You're only speaking to yourself. You cannot even explain yourself or the gas prices. I'm not saying you need men and women who can explain themselves in both languages in the island's parliament. Again, that's according to a WhatsApp message. And somebody says there, why is it necessary to release the caller's name and photo? Because he identified himself yesterday. And he also said that he at one time served as the Youth Development Officer at the Soufrière Regional Development Foundation. Do we have some more of your WhatsApp messages? And somebody says there via WhatsApp, good afternoon. It's been a while. I wanted to touch upon a very serious issue facing the island's speed limits on our various thoroughfares or roads. Yes, in light of the number of road accidents, I'm of the view that it is high time we, the commuting public, begin to address such a serious issue. To begin with, our road safety guidelines and laws state that in urban/city areas, the speed limit is 10 to 15 miles per hour. In rural and residential areas, the speed limit is 30 miles per hour. On our highways, the speed limit is 40 miles per hour. Why are many of our vehicle drivers, including some law enforcers or officers, of the contrary belief? I beg to ask this question. Based on the daily traffic mayhem we're currently having to put up with on a daily basis, moreover, I, the writer, found myself a couple of years back being yelled after by a police SSU vehicle near the VG highway to speed up while driving at the requisite speed of 14 miles per hour. I must comment on the fact that even if most vehicle speedometers / odometers are numbered up to average standard, speeding for up to 120 miles per hour, this doesn't give us local drivers the leverage to disobey or flaunt around, speeding crazily along our thoroughways. I'm desperately trying to keep this comment on the brief, but in an era where we are trying to keep our heads above water by the introduction of CCTV on our driveways, I beg to ask, are our local traffic officers monitoring these expensive devices? So WhatsApp message, once again, 452-2979. WhatsApp calls and messages 716-2026. Good afternoon to you, Jante. Let's find out what is happening in the chat rooms.
Good afternoon, Tim. Starting off on YouTube, our first comment reads, the Minister of National Security should also attend the consultation in Soufrière along with the Minister for Tourism. But maybe that is too much to expect because the situation is just too fluid. Tim, why the government don't use the $1,000 to buy school books for the children? Another YouTube comment reading, so are we going to say that there's no work, so we resort to crime and easy money? If you want to live honestly, you can. Moving to Facebook, our first comment reads, Tim, I suspect you have a whole album coming out soon. Play it again. Tim is the new crime prevention minister. We have another comment here saying, ask Richard, the peace and love minister. Police presence and surveillance, that's it. Handouts by the SLP administration. We have a few comments here reading, they did not straighten the tree when it started bending. Now it's way too late to do that. The tree is too big. Wow. Shooting at the stadium, what's next? Shaking my head. This is like Marsha and Grass Street. We have another comment here reading, my constituency has become a killing zone. Where is the Minister of Conflict Resolution? Government needs to put all measures in place to stop the influx of illegal drugs and guns into St. Lucia. We have more comments from our Facebook page saying, bring back death as a punishment to anyone who murders another, especially if illegal guns are used in these murders. That's a very long time. That guy should be crime prevention minister. We have another comment here saying, what was it meant for PJP? Comedy Central. And this town is a popular tourism destination. We have another comment here saying, while some just talk, others take true action to find a resolution. Tim, the PM never says what he means. So later, he can say he never said that. Or he would say, show him where he said that. You should have said that in the first place when you made the statement. Back to you, Tim.
Thank you so much, Jante, for that update. We have some more coming from you during the course of the broadcast. 4522979. WhatsApp calls and messages 716-2026. Somebody says there via WhatsApp, good day, Tim. Yes, speed contributes to accidents. However, the use of cell phones top the list. I share that opinion. I've been of that view for a very long time. The person continues, and yet still, they refuse to revisit the legislation that was rejected by our now Speaker of the House, who was the President of the Senate at the time. Said it needed more clarification, and up to this day, nada. That's according to a WhatsApp message. Let's see if you have a call on the line. In the meantime, we have a WhatsApp message, and somebody says there, good afternoon. Just saying, until the PM can emulate a leader such as Traore, he's definitely falling short. It's time the Prime Minister begin to treat every St. Lucian like his personal responsibility and do what is necessary to be done, not out of convenience. We have a call via WhatsApp. Hello. Good afternoon. NewsSpin, you are on the air.
Good afternoon.
Yes, sir. Good afternoon to you. NewsSpin Starter Station. I'm okay.
Jande, how are you?
I'm good, thank you.
Phoebe, you remember in October last year, there was a U.S. advisory on Sufre?
Yes.
At a particular hotel?
I remember.
You remember how quick the government moved to address this?
Mm-hmm.
Yesterday had a brand new vehicle and added police patrols. Now, Tim, let's revisit last year. The first homicide last year happened at that bus terminal in Sufre.
Yeah.
He was one Calix from Palmis. The second homicide was a cousin of his, one Efraj from Palmis, Sufre. Two of the last three homicides last year also happened in Palmis, Sufre. Nobody addressed this. Nobody spoke of these homicides. People have advised me as to why am I wasting my time. I'll tell you why, Tim. Mr. Jonathan Simon, I do not know the gentleman, but he sounds like a true conflict resolution expert. And I'm happy that you read that clip, Tim, about he being involved in 2020. The man tone shows compassion, shows concern. And what caught my attention most, he said that he does not want to return to St. Lucia to attend another funeral of a relative or friend from that constituency.
And at the time he spoke, Mr. Cleus Joseph alias Gramaxone apparently had not succumbed to his injuries.
Yes, maybe. Tim, for years, Mr. Cover Didier, I've been on your show, both NewsSpin and Newsmaker Live, speaking about marine patrols in the town of Soufrière. All those attempts by Mr. Didier have fallen on deaf ears. Now Mr. Didier is sitting in an office of responsibility. Are we hearing anything from him, Tim?
Off and on, I think I've heard him a couple times of late,
Okay.
yes, speaking.
Well, I only listen to Power News,
Yeah.
Power Station, so I wouldn't hear him elsewhere. But what I'm saying, Soufrière used to be a serene town, a town where everybody enjoyed. I remember when Brian McDonald was alive, Brian McDonald was the first person I heard that named Soufrière Sulphur City.
Okay.
And then David Chase Christopher. How many more people was died, Tim, for us to address that rivalry? We have a gangs and whatever patrol from the police force, which I believe is doing an excellent job, Tim. When are we going to release them on the town of Soufrière? Mr. Sherwin Matthew is from that town and is doing an excellent job, Tim. What are we doing with Dr. Stephen King and others like him to address conflict resolution in Soufrière? We must address the conflict between the two sides. The residents of Palmis and the residents of Barron Drive. We must put the gangs, narcotics, and firearms department from the police force in the town of Soufrière to put a stop to this thing. We don't need the aforenamed persons to address any town hall meeting. It happened in 2020, nothing happened. It continued till have the status that they put view fort under, have it been lifted?
Not to my knowledge, no.
But they will never do it for Soufrière, and you know why?
Tell me why.
You know why? It's the breadbasket of Russia. That's where all the tourists goes. But something have to happen to him.
But here's what, sir. You see, that's why we like to blame international agencies when they take action against us. If we do not do certain things for ourselves, if we are not proactive, if we turn a blind eye to certain problems that are very clear for everyone to see, then what they will do, those agencies will do, is to impose various sanctions on us. And that doesn't serve, even it appears that doesn't even serve as a deterrent, or it doesn't give us the impetus to want to deliberately undertake certain measures to address certain ills in our society. You heard from the MP for the constituency, and we'll hear from her. I'll play that clip in just a bit. Miss Emma Hippolyte saying that she's aware of that problem. She's aware, and the big question is, I mean, when you ask those questions, people say, well, why is Emma? Why are you involving her? The big question is, what are you as the MP doing about that problem? You are the MP.
But she gave you her answer, Tim. She gave it to you. She said it's not a quick fix. So how long is it going to take?
Look, somebody's telling me that just yesterday, the Gangs, Narcotics and Firearms Unit of the Royal St. Lucia Police Force, they were in Soufrière yesterday. But I'm not aware whether they are still there, whether they have decided to set up some kind of operation in that town over the next few weeks or as long as possible to maintain the peace or to maintain law and order.
As long as it takes, Tim.
Yes,
and that
yes.
is what's needed. That's what's necessary. We can have a group of little boys just killing each other, innocent bystanders getting caught.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Tim, how much more of this can we take How much more of this one can we take? We've heard about that the gang situation in Castries have cooled off because of sporting activities between rival gangs. Tim, we've had 6 homicides in Central Castries this year, 6. So where's the relief? Where is the relief? What are you talking about? Where the church is going to Vieux-Fort and say that Vieux-Fort, right, have been relieved of any criminal activities. Says who? Homicide number 6, homicide number 2, and homicide number 6 in January this year was in Vieux-Fort Central, in Vieux-Fort South. We had one last week. So who are we fooling? Who are we fooling? Tim, there's no crime zone in St. Lucia now, No crime zone in St. Lucia. St. Lucia in itself is a crime zone. Murders are happening everywhere, Tim. Everywhere. I can't blame the police. I think the police are doing their fair share. But something have to happen to him. The Commissioner of Police must take initiative to release the police. Let's have an anti-crime campaign, an anti-drug campaign, an anti-traffic campaign ongoing for months on end. We can't be reactive. Let's be proactive. Unless something happens, 27 homicides. I mean, I don't want to battle the police. But 2 weeks ago, we had a press conference on the police where the Assistant Commissioner boasted we've only had 18 homicides for the month. That's because people were talking that it was 20. So now we are 27. I want to know what they're saying. We're still in the month of April. 9 more since that press conference. How many more must die, Tim? How many more? Thank you, Tim.
Thank you so much for calling. Our NewsSpin statistician and also law enforcer. Thank you so much for your contribution, sir. Always on point. 452-2979. WhatsApp calls and messages 716-2026. Let's see there. And incidentally, there was a press release from the Royal St. Lucia Police Force which says that on Monday, April 27th, 2026, a joint police operation was carried out in Palmist-Soufrière by officers from the Gangs, Narcotics and Firearms Unit, Special Operations Team, Soufrière Police Station, Special Services Unit and Tactical Response Unit. The operation was part of ongoing investigations into a shooting incident at the Soufrière Mini Stadium on Monday, which resulted in the death of 38-year-old Cleus Gramaxon Joseph of Fort Benier, Soufrière, and left another injured. Between 2 p.m. and 6 p.m., officers conducted foot patrols, random checks, sweeps, and area searches. Officers recovered 5 9mm rounds of ammunition and 5 rounds of high-powered .223 ammunition. A total of 10 individuals, 6 males and 4 females were arrested and taken into custody. So, press release coming from the Royal St. Lucia Police Force regarding an operation which was conducted over in Soufrière yesterday and the result of that operation. We have a call via WhatsApp. Good afternoon. NewsSpin, you are on the air.
Hey, good afternoon, Tim. How are you doing?
I'm okay, caller. Good afternoon to you.
Okay, there is something that I've been hearing, bandied about concerning accidents on our road, and persons have the view that it is being caused by cell phones. I seriously want to challenge that, Tim, because I've been, how long I've been driving on the road? Okay, let's just say I've been a heavy-duty truck driver for 20 years up north, okay? For 20 plus years, I've been on the road as a heavy-duty truck driver. Back in 1996-97, I was working on the Dyer Mall, which is at present that we call the Orange Grove Plaza. Okay, so I've been up here since that time, Tim. And I can tell you with a level of certainty, you see those dangerous accidents that we've seen where lives are taken, you see the carnage we've seen on the road? That is not caused by cell phone, and I'll tell you why. I'm driving up the road, and somebody's like very, very slower than usual, just like, snail pace. And I'm saying, but what's wrong with this guy? Only to realize that this person is on the cell phone. Understand? At that speed, driving at that speed, no, bumper to bumper or minor collision, that it will result in this catastrophic that we're seeing on the road. That's what's causing the problem on the road. Am I still letting?
Yes, sir.
Right. You see, now not even speed. There is a difference between speed and reckless driving. Because there are persons who drive fast on the road, they are cautious, there's something you call a calculated move. A lot of persons, they drive a little fast, but they're calculated in what they do. But the problem is, you see, recklessness and driving underneath the influence. We have to look at what are the times that those accidents take place, the time frame. What other times do they take place? On a weekend, in the wee hours of the morning? We have to look at all those things, and I've been observing it for a while. What's going on our roads at present is a recklessness and persons underneath the influence. Not even speed, I'll not even say speed, because we have persons who drive fast, but they're not reckless. So there's a big difference between recklessness and speeding. So for persons, you see this cop-out that we do in this country and just talk about cell phones. And some of the authorities know that is not the cell phones. They just refuse to address the problem. The problem of this country is social. We have a social problem. So at present, you have a lot of young drivers who couldn't be bothered. Now, when people have social problems, Tim, it shows up everywhere. It shows up in your driving. It shows up in your interacting with each other. It shows up at the workplace. So what we have in St. Lucia is persons that do not care, because they couldn't care less if they give you an indicator, if they indicate for you. They couldn't care less if they use their mirror or not. They just don't care. And that is what's going on. You're driving down a particular road, there's vehicles to your right side. So the incoming person would be on your right. They are supposed to yield because the obstruction is on their side. Yet still they're coming up on you. So this is the problem we have in this country. So unless we talk about the issues and be truthful about them, it's not going to get solved. And I'm of the view of my 20 plus years driving as a truck driver, 25 years plus ongoing, and I've had my license way before that. I can tell you it is not the cell phones. So it's high time we look at the problem of recklessness and drunkenness on the road, especially after events on weekends and those sort of things. Thank you, Tim.
All right. Thank you so much. Well, everyone has a point of view as to why we're having so many of those crashes and collisions on our roads. There's need for us to use the science, use whatever methods that are scientific so that we can conclusively reach the same conclusion based on the figures, based on a study as to why we are having so many such incidents occurring on our roads. Let's see there what you're saying via WhatsApp. On a daily basis, somebody says drivers will say to you, my phone rang and I tried to pick it up, or it fell, or they lost on a call. I know what I am talking about. That's according to a WhatsApp message. Let's see if we have another WhatsApp message. And somebody says that, Tim, can you believe I was driving towards Castries yesterday from the Fuashu area after 6 p.m., close to the ferry terminal, when I saw those bright lights coming towards me, and only to realize it was traffic officers on their bikes driving or riding on the opposite in the opposite direction. So you think, as much as people complain about bright lights, the law does not seem to care about that. Shaking my head. Another WhatsApp message. Them heavy duty truck drivers, 90%, they don't have parking lights on those trailers. Let's see what's happening in the chat rooms. A good afternoon to you again, Shanti.
Good afternoon again, Tim. Starting off on YouTube, our first comment reads, didn't understand the PM he is more lost and more confusing himself. They're also drinking and driving. Some even drive with bottles in hand. PJP and Trump seem to be reading the same book, because today they say something and tomorrow they will say they never said it. Another YouTube comment reading, when Vieux Fort was declared an escalated crime zone, The government imported only 10 officers from the regional security system and things calmed down. Only 10 officers. The Royal St. Lucia Police Force has 1,200 officers. Let's see if Soufriere is declared an escalated crime area. If government is serious about eradicating crime, then there is only one solution. Make the police officers patrol. Moving to Facebook, our first comment reads, with all these shootings, where are the thugs getting the bullets for those illegal guns? Half of the 1,000 goes back directly to the government in high taxes. The backlash caused PJP to come out to polish what he said. We understood exactly what he said. We have another comment here saying, he can say anything in the house and get away with it. When PJP is in the house, he knows how to talk when Shah says something to him. But when he's not in the house, he has to think on what to say. Tim, if PJP tried to correct his mistake, who cares? He had to say that from the start. We have a few comments reading, is there a 2.5% compounded health and security levy on baby products, foods, Pampers, PJP? Our Lucians. We're under a spell. This can't be real. Is this the best that we can do to elect as a prime minister? Remember, one former prime minister said, we will fight you on the streets and in the house. The current prime minister refuses to shake hands with the leader of the opposition and again with opposition candidates in church, indicating that he will not shake hands. We have another comment reading, not just Soufriere caller, but everywhere in St. Lucia for conflict resolution. Caller, we have a reactive government. Caller, view forth has been very good. We have more comments from our Facebook page saying, all they care about is that Flobos are choking on the 16-1. But caller, that doesn't mean the cell phone's use while driving isn't an issue. How can you drive while texting? Caller, all three, driving, using the phone, and driving under the influence is an issue. We have another comment here saying, more alcohol than cell phones. So the shooting had to reach a stadium for the police to undertake that operation. And our final comment, national emergency, lock down the country.
Thank you so much, Jante, for that update. This is the most monitored talk show in the world. Still to come, we'll be hearing from the Speaker of the House, lecturing parliamentarians at the conclusion of the debate on the appropriation bill last Friday. This is the most monitored talk show in the world.
Advance your career at Lightspark Training with a globally recognized certification. Conveniently located on High Street, Castries, Lightspark offers a wide range of programs to make the most of your career. Certifications in project management, risk management, quality management, marketing, ACC accounting, human resources, Microsoft, Cisco, and IT technician certification, graphic design, web design, and programming. Complete a diploma in accounting in 6 months or a bachelor's degree in just over a year. Call us today at 451-8918 or visit us at www.lightspark.com.
Celebrate the extraordinary women in your life this Mother's Day at Bay Gardens Resorts. Join us on Sunday, May 11 for a day dedicated to honoring Mom. Choose from 3 spectacular celebrations. Treat Mom to the elegance of our Pretty in Petals event at Bay Gardens Marina Haven for EC $160 per person. Experience jazzy vibes and culinary excellence at our Jazzy Mother's Day brunch at the Bay Gardens Hotel and Inn. A perfect blend of entertainment and indulgence for EC $175 per person. Enjoy a toast to Mom at the Bay Gardens Beach Resort and Spa, an upscale afternoon tailored to your special lady for only EC $200 per person. Children ages 4 to 12 receive 50% off, and children under 4 are absolutely free. Book by May 4th and receive a 10% discount on your entire reservation. For reservations and for more details, contact us at 457-8045 or send us an email at marketing@baygardensresorts.com. Create cherished moments this Mother's Day at Bay Gardens Resorts.
What happens when the music is stripped down to the truth? On April 29th, First National Bank presents the Teddyson John Experience at the luxurious Royalton Resorts. Raw vocals, live music, real emotion, an intimate night where Teddyson John opens the heart of the music. Also from Trinidad and Tobago, featuring Nyla Blackman. From St. Lucia, Michael Robinson.
I'm gonna make you mine.
Herb Black.
I'm so sorry.
Umpa.
That's one day, no.
And Ricky T. Sharing their stories behind the songs and connects with you up close. This is more than a concert. It's a feeling. Stripped, April 29th. Royalton Resorts, limited seats. One unforgettable night. It's definitely my type of night and my type of vibes.
Tickets for this event are $100 USD. Food and drinks inclusive. Ticket locations: Anthony's Jewelry, Castries and Baywalk, The Wave, and online fourcirclestickets.com.
Hey there, Lucelect family. It's Malika, and today I've got a burning question. What's with the fuel surcharge?
Hey Malika, I'm Didi. Buckle up, because you're about to take a deep dive into the world of fuel surcharge. Alright? So Malika, fuel surcharge is all about the cost of fuel on the global market. It's a monthly thing, dancing to the tune of international fuel prices and our energy consumption.
Really?
So Malika, don't freak out, okay? Let's get into the math of how we calculate the surcharge. Imagine this. July's fuel cost is $11 per gallon, while last year's average was $10.50 a gallon. This is a difference of 50 cents. Now let's say we have a fuel consumption of 5,000 gallons and total unit sales of, let's say, 20,000 kilowatt hours. What we do, we multiply this 50 cents by the 5,000 gallons of fuel that we use for a grand total surcharge of $2,500. Then we divide the $2,500 by the 20,000 kilowatt hour unit sales. This gives us a net 12.5 cents per kilowatt hour. This is a surcharge applied to the electricity you use. And it isn't for Lucelec only. It's an international thing to keep things fair.
Thanks for the knowledge, Didi. Now I'm feeling charged up.
You got it, Malika? Keep those questions coming. We're here to keep you in the know.
Hey, together, hand in hand, building strength across this land. Every worker, every dream, united now, a single team. One voice, one executive, one union, standing tall we shine as one. Through the struggle, through the fight, together we will light the night.
Lazarus's Funeral Home is here for you. Lazarus's Private Cemetery offers a peaceful resting place for your loved ones. With tranquil settings, visitation, and reflection, we believe in the compassionate care of all our departed loved ones. Lazarus's Private Cemetery, let us help you create a final resting place. Make it special. Make it Lazarus's Funeral Home, your friend in a time of need. Payment plans are available for tombs. Call us in Vidbuta at 452-7491 or in New Dock Road, VA4, 454-6555.
Fast pay, a new and easy way to pay. Fast pay, fast pay.
You asked for it and you got it. A quicker way to pay your bills online. It's fast, secure, and easy to use. No registration, no additional fees. Flow is now offering FastPay, an online service that allows you to settle your bills in less than 2 minutes. Need a receipt? FastPay will send it to your email immediately. Use FastPay now for convenience, safety, and efficiency at discoverflow.co/fastpay.
Flow fast pay, 2 minutes and you're on your way. Flow fast pay, flow fast pay.
Flow is keeping you connected.
every day the pain is still there. Back, neck, shoulder, hip, chronic arthritis, pain down your leg to your toes, or heel pain when you put your foot on the ground. You've tried many things, but nothing works. Waiting will only make it worse. At La Clinique du Corps, we find the real cause of your pain using advanced MRI scans from head to toes with no radiation for more accurate results. Our specialist doctors provide faster diagnosis and effective treatment. Less pain, better movement, better life. All insurances accepted. Call now before it gets worse. 451-6559, that's 451-6559, or WhatsApp 721-9950. WhatsApp 721-9950. La Clinique du Corps. Stop suffering. Start living.
Night Meds is your dependable neighborhood pharmacy. You'll notice that upon entry, you are greeted by caring professional staff, attentive to your every need. Your prescriptions are always treated with a high degree of confidentiality, and we pride ourselves on providing speedy, efficient service. We carry a wide array commonly requested over-the-counter products, and our prices are very competitive. We offer blood pressure testing, blood sugar, and cholesterol testing. We're open to fill your prescriptions Monday to Saturday from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. Come visit Sadhu's gas station on the Miku Highway or call us at 572-6840 or WhatsApp 461-6840 for more information. Night Meds Pharmacy. We are your community med store.
St. Lucia, are you ready? As the Viewfort Jazz and Arts Committee presents Viewfort Jazz, a beacon of sound and soul, featuring international reggae icon Glenn Washington. Glenn Washington.
We were only strangers in the night, getting to know each other, the mood was right.
Groove on over with us for a Sunday Fun Day on May 3rd from 2 p.m. Also featuring Ali Cat and Friends, Sly and the Escape Band, Tumble Melee, Kimi sings, spoken word by Andrea, the #1 jump band in St. Lucia, DYP, Dandy, and more. Admission $100, VIP $300. Viewfort Jazz, a beacon of sound and soul. We're bringing the heat with jazz rhythm to make you wanna move. Physical ticket outlets: Blush, Your Style Barbershop, T-Max Unisex Barbershop, M&E Fast Foods, Chanel's Building, Night Meds Pharmacy on the Meekwood Highway, Ace Bar, Soufre, Empire 758. Tickets are also available at 4circlestickets.com.
You would have noticed, I'm sure, that over the past 2 weeks, the meetings held over the past 2 weeks, there has been a greater level of promptitude by members coming to the Parliament. And I want to thank you for that. There are still 1 or 2 areas which I'm very concerned about, and I will be holding meetings with the leader of government business and the leader of the opposition to rectify those shortcomings. Among them, I can tell you now, as I do not believe it is proper to remain away from the chamber, make your presentation, and leave. We have to. This is not directed at anybody. In fact, at the moment, I can say without any fear of contradiction, both sides do it. And it is not something I appreciate, and I think we have to rectify that. So, leader of government business, I will be calling upon you. Leader of the opposition, I'll be calling upon you, so that we can remedy it. This is the highest court of the land. This is not a kindergarten school.
Madam Speaker, I am not obliged to be lectured to listen to anyone. We have children. If you feel the need to lecture anyone, go home and lecture your children. I was not elected here to be lectured by anyone.
You would have noticed, I'm sure, that over the past 2 weeks, the meetings held over the past 2 weeks, there has been a greater level of promptitude by members coming to the Parliament. And I want to thank you for that. There are still one or two areas which I'm very concerned about, and I will be holding meetings with the leader of government business and the leader of the opposition to rectify those shortcomings. Among them, I can tell you now, as I do not believe it is proper to remain away from the chamber, make your presentation, and leave. We have to. This is not directed at anybody. In fact, at the moment, I can say without any fear of contradiction, both sides do it. And it is not something I appreciate, and I think we have to rectify that. So, leader of government business, I will be calling upon you. Leader of the opposition, I'll be calling upon you, so that we can remedy it. This is the highest court of the land. This is not a kindergarten school.
Madam Speaker, I am not obliged to be lectured to listen to anyone. We have children. If you feel the need to lecture anyone, go home and lecture your children. I was not elected here to be lectured by anyone.
This is the most monitored talk show in the world, where we continue with your calls at 452-2979, WhatsApp calls and messages 716-2026, 716-2026. We have a call via WhatsApp. Good afternoon to you. You are on the air.
Yes, good afternoon. Good afternoon, Tim. How are you doing?
I'm okay, sir. Good afternoon to you, caller.
Okay, this is Harold Stanislas, former parliamentary rep for Soufrière Fontaine-Jacques, and former candidate for United Workers' Party at the last general elections.
Good afternoon, sir.
Yes, I'm just calling to say a few words on the incidents of violence which have been taking place in Soufrière for the past couple of weeks, and share some insights to you and to your listeners. But before I do, Tim, I would like to extend sincere condolences to the families of the two victims which we've had as a result of those violent incidents. Last week, Sunday, we had a young man from Palmis, Justin Simon, aka BIG, who lost his life at Barron's Drive. And just yesterday morning, on the tracks at the mini stadium, we had another young man, KS Joseph, aka Grabak Zone, who succumbed to gunshot injuries on the track yesterday. Tim, I knew those two boys very, very well. In another life, as a primary school teacher in Soufrière, I taught both boys at the Soufrière Primary School. And if my recollection is right, I believe that they were in the same class, and if not, they were at the same grade level at the Soufrière Primary School. So I know them very well, Tim, and it also tells you that those young men from the communities of Barron's Drive and Palmis, these are young men who know each other, who went to school together, who were once friends, and it is just unbelievable the extent of the violence right now which they are displaying against each other. At one point in time during my representation of the town, of the constituency, I believe it was in 2018-2019, I had a meeting. It was a peace meeting between those two factions, because this has been an ongoing situation among the two communities.
But according to a press release I read earlier on, I referenced, it might have been 2020, caller.
Okay, 2020. Well,
Yeah.
somewhere around that line. Between
Yeah.
2018 and 2020, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, and after that meeting, they were able to resolve the differences. I believe that meeting also was followed by a football match or tournament, which we held amongst themselves, and it went very, very well. And sometime, maybe about 2 years ago, the violence came back again, and now we're experiencing it at an even more alarming rate, Tim. And I believe that it is time that we have some more concerted effort into going to those two communities, the authorities, and trying to really sit down with the community leaders in there, with the young people, the churches, and so on, and really find out what is the root of this problem among the young people in those two communities. But I also believe that Tim and maybe the authorities are not making it public, and I understand. But over the past couple of months, and maybe a few years, we've had a lot of incidents. You know, Soufrière is a touristic community.
Mm-hmm.
We rely heavily on tourism. is the breadbasket, the mecca of tourism of this country. And we've had a lot of incidents of theft, and armed robbery, and so on at the hotels, even in at some businesses in the town of Soufrière recently. We've had murders at bars and so on in Soufrière, you know. And all of these incidents have affected business significantly in Soufrière team over the past months and over the past year or so. And we know our tourism arrivals, both cruise ships, stayover, and even the Airbnbs, they're not what they ought to be. And that is affecting business, that is affecting the circulation of money in the town. And you have this community of Palmis, which they feel very marginalized. They believe that a lot more attention is being given to the Barons Drive community. I have no evidence of that, but this is the thinking, this is the theme of the persons in the community of Palmis. And I believe that there needs to be some economic and social intervention in both communities, especially when it comes to housing, sustainable employment, skills training and so on for young people, scholarships, etc., so that we can get those young men off the blocks and get them to do some meaningful work to sustain themselves and their families. I also believe, Tim, we need to go back to sports, football in Soufrière. Football has been dead in Soufrière for almost 5 years now. We've not had any major tournament where we can bring those young boys together and compete on the field, not with guns, not with weapons, killing each other. So we need to revitalize football, create opportunities for them in sports, youth development, so that they can see themselves as contributors, developers of our community and our country. But it's a very sad state of affairs that it has gotten to this point where young boys are killing each other senselessly, resorting to violence and the gun to solve their problems. And I'm calling on those young individuals from Barons Drive, from Palmis, to lay down the guns and speak to each other. There are better ways of resolving the conflict. We want peace in Soufrière. We do not want the young people of Soufrière, to be fearful of venturing out there. And as far as I know, some parents are even scared of sending the kids on the playing field at the mini stadium right now, because they do not know where the gunshot is going to be coming from. And that is very, very sad. That is very disheartening, Tim. And I believe that the authorities need to intervene, and the authorities must also reassure the people of Soufrière and Font-Saint-Jacques and the people of St. Lucia that they are going to take charge of this situation in Soufrière. We are going to have an incident, violence-free jazz this weekend in Soufrière. The community is going to be safe, the community is going to be protected, and we don't only want to see 80, 90, 100 policemen, SSU officers on the streets of Soufrière this week or maybe this weekend, and next week forget about Soufrière, forget about the people. We need solid intervention, we need tangible intervention, we need to see results, and we need to get those young boys, because those young boys are full of skills, ambitions, and we need to nurture that so that they can be productive citizens of Soufrière and of St. Lucia.
Mrs. Stanislas, if we are aware of that problem, which dates back to several years, and you said that you, as the former MP in 2020, tried to find a lasting solution to that.
I think it was about 2018 or 2019 thing.
Okay.
Not 2020. 2020 we had the COVID epidemic, so pandemic. So I don't think it was 2020. It was 2018 or 2019.
All right. So then leaders in those communities like Soufrière and so on, including those who are at the helm, your parliamentary representative, the police, etc., why do you think that they find themselves powerless, or they find themselves undertaking various initiatives that are not effective? Because I'm sure that you all are aware of that particular problem in Soufrière. It's a case of, among yourselves, finding the solution. Why is it proving difficult?
Well, like I said, Tim, at that meeting we had several persons from different organizations in Soufrière present at that meeting. Following that, we had other meetings, Soufrière Foundation, we had the police, we had, I think, one or two of the pastors. We even spoke to them at that meeting. We had persons from the Ministry of Family Affairs, Home Affairs at that meeting as well. And there was a truce. There was a calm, but over the past 2 years or so, it has, with the violence and the activities have resurfaced. But I believe also, Tim, like you said, that the authorities are aware, and it's just a matter of getting more serious at it, putting more programs, more policies in place to really tackle the root cause of that problem in those two communities and the wider Soufrière area.
So means a lack of follow-up. Anyway, thank you so much for calling, sir.
You're most welcome.
All right, thank you so much. Just so there from Mr. Harold Stanislas, former MP for Soufrière Force Jacques. Good afternoon to you again, Janty. Let's find out what is happening in the chat rooms.
Starting off on YouTube, our first comment reads, "Caller, excessive speed kills. If you do a defensive driving course, you will understand that the faster you drive, the less time drivers have to react. When shots fired in a certain area, the police patrol for 1 week and move on. They don't continue there while there are enough officers in the force. The Royal St. Lucia Police Force needs backup, which is why country security forces need to be restructured as a priority." Another YouTube comment says, "When SLP is in power, St. Lucia goes backward at full speed. Soufrière is a vital part of St. Lucia's tourist industry. Government needs to step in as a matter of urgency towards resolving these crimes." Moving to Facebook, our first comment reads, "St. Lucia's birth rate has decreased because our women no longer want to be housewives. They want to be professionals. There's nothing PJP can do about that. St. Lucians are very hypocrite people. Lawless government, lawless people." We have another comment saying, "In as much as the cell phone is not the only cause of all the accidents, I am of the opinion that it is one of the contributing factors. If it was my PM, Alan, that said he knew who was behind the crime, you would see St. Lucians beating pans and demanding answers. PJP said bold in Parliament he knows who is behind the crime. St. Lucia is facing a crime epidemic." We have a few comments here reading, "Please put the speed bump back on the Grizzly Highway near Harbour Club. Too many near misses with pedestrians. The country has become lawless. No laws are followed. People throw garbage all over. People drink openly and any and everywhere. People drive anyhow. The traffic code has gone out the door." But the speaker is right. We have another comment reading, "No, my dear, the uneducated and fools and hacks, they think $1,000 is a lot for them." Just so with the speaker, a VT. Claudius Francis, tell that to your party. We have more comments from our Facebook page saying, "Over the past 2 weeks, if the opposition leader did not stand up to you bullies, y'all wouldn't behave. The speaker still thinks he's a judge. Mr. Speaker, what about the disrespect in the House? That's what you should be working on." We have another comment here saying, "Too little too late. You've created the atmosphere. They have advice to everyone but has none for themselves. Who is the leader of government business, may I ask?" We have another comment here reading, "What happened to the football championship Sean started, the one with the big prize money? Granny E don't have time for that." And our final comment, "Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for starting to wake up from the nightmare that is going on in the House."
Thank you so much, Jante, for that update. Still to come, we'll have some more of your calls, your WhatsApp messages. We'll continue our discussion. And we'll be hearing from somebody who wants to be I almost said MP, the president of the St. Lucia Civil Service Association. I've never seen a contest for the leadership of a trade union appear like a political campaign. We'll be back in just a bit.
Advance your career at Lightspark Training with a globally recognized certification. Conveniently located on High Street, Castries, Lightspark offers a wide range of programs to make the most of your career. Certifications in project management, risk management, quality management, marketing, ACC accounting, human resources, Microsoft, Cisco, and IT technician certification, graphic design, web design, and programming. Complete a diploma in accounting in 6 months or a bachelor's degree in just over a year. Call us today at 451-8918 or visit us at www.lightspark.com.
Your shot. Carnival costumes, yeah, we giving out 4 plus 1,000 cash. Tell me who want more. Tap, tap, tap to the Vaval. Win big, have a ball. Tap, tap, don't you stall. First National, got it all. Sign up online or visit a branch today. Get your credit card June 30, don't delay.
Every day, the pain is still there. Back, neck, shoulder, hip, chronic arthritis, pain down your leg to your toes, or heel pain when you put your foot on the ground. You've tried many things, but nothing works. Waiting will only make it worse. At La Clinique du Corps, we find the real cause of your pain using advanced MRI scans from head to toes with no radiation for more accurate results. Our specialist doctors provide faster diagnosis and effective treatment. Less pain, better movement, better life. All insurance is accepted. Call now before it gets worse. 451-6559, that's 451-6559, or WhatsApp 721-9950. WhatsApp 721-9950. La Clinique du Corps. Stop suffering. Start living.
Need branded apparel that looks sharp and shows up on time? Welcome to Imprinted Designs, where every stitch counts. We specialize in custom embroidery and t-shirt printing for businesses, teams, events, you name it. From embroidered logos on polished Oxford shirts, available in a variety of colors for men and women, to bold, high-quality printed tees that turn heads, we do it all. Bring your own shirts or choose from ours. Small runs, big orders, rush jobs, no problem. At Imprinted Designs, we're built for speed, efficiency, and clean professional results delivered on time, every time. So if you want your brand to stand out, not wait around, come down to Imprinted Designs at the Valmore Plaza or hit us up at 451-2920 or email address imprinteddesignsSLU@gmail.com. Imprinted Designs, where every stitch counts.
Exceeding your expectations is what we strive for at Lazarus Funeral Home. Losing a loved one isn't something you can foresee. Since the beginning, affordability has been one of our priorities. Every day we're proving that burials don't have to be expensive. If cost is a factor in your time of bereavement, call Lazarus Funeral Home. We have coffins starting at $800 plus taxes. Nothing can cause more disappointment than poor quality. Help us help you keep your last memory of your loved one sacred. Make it special. Make it Lazarus Funeral Home, your friend in a time of need. Located at Bibliotheque Castries at 452-7491 and New Dock Road V4 at 454-6555.
Stop paying full price. With Flow, you can slash your bill in half. You heard right. Cut your mobile bill in half when you add mobile to internet. That's the most reliable Wi-Fi at home. Plus, all the data you need on the go. So don't wait. Double your connection and double your value for half the price. Add mobile to internet today. Visit in-store or online at discoverflow.co for more details.
Bob and Dave were very proud to buy their mom a new energy-saving fridge with lots of smart settings. They remember the old ways of energy saving. Mom always said, close the fridge, you're wasting current. Smart advice then, smart advice now. Close the fridge, you're wasting current. Saving energy is what's smart.
Art in the City is back, rooted in culture, bold in expression. Brought to you by the Cultural Development Foundation. On Friday, April 17th, the celebration begins in Beaufort. Art in the Street at the New Market Complex from 10 a.m., followed by readings and rhythms at 7 p.m. On April 24th and 25th, indulge in the Icon Series 4-course gala dinner at Sandals Grand, honoring culinary master Edward Chef Harry Joseph. On April 26th and 27th, theater lovers gather at Warehouse 11 for Don't Call Me Baby Doll, written and directed by Travis Weeks. Or head to the Caribbean Cinemas for screenings from the Jumpstart Film Project. From April 27th to May 16th, experience Life in Color, a visual arts exhibition at the Audi Showroom and Orange Grove Plaza, featuring works by St. Lucian master artists. On April 28th, the stage comes alive at Sandals Grand with 10 to 1, the Mighty Sparrow musical, produced by Raul Gibbons and directed by Louis McWilliams. On May 1st, journey to Ancillary for Fish Friday, an evening of storytelling with George Fish Alphonse and Kidel Sonny. May 2nd and 3rd, experience Triptych, directed by Kendall Hippolyte at Warehouse 11. On Monday 4th, feel the power of poetry at Voices of the Underground, featuring world-renowned dub poet Linton Kwesi Johnson. From May 5th to 7th, Artscape concerts pop up in unexpected spaces, dance, theater, music. And on May 7th and 8th, discover handcrafted treasures at T-Tax ABC, Craft and Souvenir Market. On the Rodney Bay Strip, Art in the City 2026, rooted in culture, bold in expression.
Hey everybody, Graham Smargan here. So excited to finally do my first solo show in St. Lucia, beautiful island. You don't know we have family from St. Lucia now. So big up to everyone that's already got their tickets. Get your tickets now. I'll be performing May 2nd in the next couple of weeks. Get ready. The countdown is on. Soufre! Graham Smargan, thank you for having me. Yeah, VIP style where I do it in Alexei. You ready? We pack the things them, get to the ready, and I'll be there with my band May 2nd at the stadium, the mini stadium, the Soufre Midi Stadium. So get in the tickets now. I'm excited to see you all. My first ever solo performance in a St. Lucia, live with my band. Looking forward to see you all. One divine love. May 2nd tonight.
Where would I go? What would I do? Who would I be without a woman like you? Oh, a woman like you. Have I told you? Together, hand in hand, building strength across this land. Every worker, every dream, united now, a single team. One voice, one executive, one union, standing tall we shine as one. Through the struggle, through the fight, together we will light the night.
This is where it all begins. The dreams, the passion, the hunger to be great. Across St. Lucia, a new generation is rising. Faster, stronger, fearless. Introducing the Blackheart SL FAU 20 Knockout Football Tournament. Blackheart SL FAU 20 Knockout Football Tournament, where raw talent meets opportunity, where unknown names become household names, where the future of football takes center stage. From May 16th to June 13th, 19 leagues, 4 venues, 1 champion. Every pass, every goal, every moment, a step closer to greatness. Because this is more than a tournament. This is where future legends rise. Don't miss it. Come witness the next stars of St. Lucian football. The Blackheart SL FAU 20 Knockout Tournament, where future legends rise.
It's correct that the communities of Palmis and the communities of Barron Drive are always attention, the young people there. It's not that we are planning, we are dealing with it. We are dealing with it. A lot of And again, there are social issues, so there's no quick fix. Is engaging the two communities, working with the police. One of the practical things that we have attempted to do in recent times, we've got a commitment from the Commissioner of Police. We are establishing a marine base in Soufrière. The police as well are working with us to engage our young people in terms of getting them into various social programs. In fact, just last week, the police made the announcement to encourage young persons to come in to register through a social program that we are having. We have also engaged persons like Mr. Aziz of the SLHTA and Dr. King and that group, and again the commissioner, in trying to put social programs, sustainable social programs in place to engage the young persons in these two communities. But it's a big challenge, but I can tell you that it's worrying in terms of how do you get persons to understand. But I'm told, I don't have all the information yet, that the shooting was not done by, it was done in Barons Drive, but it was not done by people from Barons Drive. I'm told it was a car drive. I don't know what it is. We don't have the full details yet, but it is unfortunate that somebody has lost his life.
MP for Soufrière Fonce Jacques Emma Hippolyte reacting to a homicide which occurred in the town a few weeks ago. She was not reacting to yesterday's incident, incidentally reacting to the yet another homicide which occurred a couple days ago. This is the most monitored talk show in the world. A segue into the Civil Service Association. They have a contest on the way for the election of a new executive to run their affairs for the next 2 years. And CSE members will be voting in that contest tomorrow, which appears to be a political contest. That's not exactly what it is, as far as I am aware. It is that of a trade union, but it appears that the trade union has been infiltrated somewhat, and therefore the contest schedule for tomorrow has been given a political flavor, because there is so much move-along that is taking place, allegations swirling around, and there is character assassination taking place as well. Let's listen to a message by the outgoing president of the Civil Service Association, Thekla Goodman.
Hello, I am Thekla Goodman, President of the St. Lucia Civil Service Association. It is with deep humility and pride that I come before you today. My journey with the St. Lucia Civil Service Association began in 1997, and over the years I have served faithfully in many capacities: shop steward, branch chair, assistant secretary treasurer, and now as president. Each role has been a stepping stone, shaping me into the leader I am today. As president, I have faced challenges that tested our resilience, but I have also celebrated victories that remind us of the power of solidarity. I choose to focus on these victories, moments when I was able to reach out to members in need, to provide assistance, and to ensure that the CSA remained a beacon of support and strength for all our members. Today, I am proud to stand with our team. This team is diverse, united, and ready to serve. Together, we represent the very best of our association. Different voices, different experiences, but one shared commitment to move CSA forward in solidarity. I am confident that once we are entrusted with office, members will benefit even more. With this dynamic member-focused team, we will build on our victories, confront our challenges head-on, and ensure that every member feels the strength of our collective. I would be honored to continue leading such a team, one that is not only ready to serve, but determined to uplift. Together, let us write the next chapter of CSA's history, grounded in unity, service, and solidarity.
Seeking re-election for the post of President of the Civil Service Association. Just heard there from Thekla Goodman. This is the most monitored talk show in the world. We'll take one final call. So if you care to, you can call right now. We'll entertain your call. And then we have an update from you, Jante. But let me turn my attention now to our NewsSpin news of the day. The NewsSpin news of the day reads, children at breaking point in Darfur as they face extreme hunger and violence, according to the United Nations. Once again, the NewsSpin news of the day. And the NewsSpin news of the day reads, children at breaking point in Darfur as they face extreme hunger and violence, according to the United Nations. Final update from you, Shanti.
Starting off on YouTube, our first comment reads, crime is a complex problem that requires a multi-sectorial approach to address. Law enforcement is the first line of this effort, but PJP does not seem to know that. For government who knew everything to do in opposition, now they can't do anything about the escalating gun violence in the country. That $1,000 isn't, there's nothing wrong with giving it. It's the long term that's the problem. Will the dads be able to support without jailing them if they can't pay monthly alimony? Moving to Facebook, our first comment reads, without vision, the people perish, and our leaders have none. The government is the worst ever. The Labour government is not good for the country. PJP can make easy money by charging people for using their phones while driving. Another comment saying, the problem is social, economic, and political.
Thank you so much, Andy. Let's see if you have that final call via WhatsApp. Good afternoon to you. NewsSpin, you're on the air.
How you doing, Tim?
Hi, I'm okay, Rick. Good afternoon to you.
By the way, does TDS concern you as well?
Does what?
You know what TDS?
Mm-hmm.
You know what TDS stands for?
I don't know. Tell me.
Trump, whatever the D stands for, I forget now, syndrome. Trump something syndrome. I forgot what the D is. I'm sure somebody knows. But I thought all the time it meant you actually, TDS.
Oh, derangement. Trump derangement. Is it derangement?
Derangement syndrome.
Okay, that's what my producer. My producer just told me.
Derangement syndrome.
Team derangement syndrome. Why?
Well, that's what I thought. It turns out to be Trump.
Oh, okay. Can't be me, Rick. Can't be me.
Okay, Tim, if you would be patient enough with me to let me ask you a question.
Go ahead, sir.
Did you have a particular reason for showing that clip of the speaker and then somebody from Africa or whoever? Did you have a special reason in mind?
No special reason. Actually, it was coincidence. I had that clip of the speaker all lined up, and the producer is witness to that.
Okay, so let me ask
to play. Hold on. To play yesterday, and incident, I just stumbled upon that other clip of this politician from an African state earlier today, and I said, "Wow, that's coincidental," and I decided to produce this.
So may I ask, did you have a particular reason for playing the original clip?
The original clip. Yeah, because I felt, boy, that was like, treating the members of parliament as if they are children.
All right.
Okay, and that's
I
was
just
my
wanted
take
to
on
know
it.
before I started off.
Mm-hmm.
It's bad enough if the members of parliament who are representatives of the country, if they allow anybody to treat them like children, because there is no law that allows the speaker to disrespect or to treat the MPs as if they were children.
Mm-hmm.
There's no law allowing him to do that. And while there might not be a law preventing him from doing it, he opens himself up for criticism because it's an insult to those of us who are represented by the MPs who are being rendered children in the House. That's what the House is for. Especially when you're making the House be a very important place, you cannot be seen as trying to make any MP look less than he is, okay? Because the MPs are nothing more than reflections of the masses of people, citizens they represent. You with me, Tim?
Yes, sir.
But it's almost ridiculous, not almost, it is absurd when the Speaker refers to Parliament as the highest court in the land. I thought that's what you played it for.
No.
How does Parliament become any court, let alone the highest court in the land? How's that? Parliament makes laws, Tim. The courts apply those laws. The courts interpret laws. The courts settle disputes and deliver legal judgment. You with me?
Yeah.
The court is not, the Parliament is not a court. Now, but it makes you think, if the Speaker of the House describes the court, describes the House as a court, then what does that make him, Tim?
Yeah, he's the Chief Justice.
A judge, the Chief Judge. Okay? And who are the other judges in there? Because that's what courts are about. But you wonder why the Speaker will say such insane things. That the court is not just, that I keep saying court, that the House is not just a court, which is ridiculous, but to say it is the highest court in the land. Don't we already have a highest court in the land?
Yeah.
Isn't that I suppose
the
either you want to
CCJ.
call
The CCJ right now is the CCJ.
the CCJ.
Yeah.
I was dealing with the land.
Okay.
If we want to talk about the land in terms of local, I suppose
The
it's
OECS
our
Supreme
High
Court. The OECS, yeah, High Court, yeah.
Okay. But the CCJ would be it. So how does this Speaker explain going on record, seeing all over the world, saying that the House, the Parliament, is the highest court in the land? There's a contradiction as well. People don't go to any court. The parliamentarians don't go to court. The parliamentarians go to do the business of the people, refereed by a Speaker who is governed by the rules, the standing rules and orders. There are no laws and punishments and so on. I don't know. And that's the kind of stuff we feed our people with no kind of contradiction whatsoever. And then we expect to have smart people making smart judgmts. Now, there's also another one I want to go to. That matter of, yes, I think it came on your show, about, I think it is the same Speaker who said on his show that the domestic violence bill, that Compton directed it to be read for the dealt with by the Senate, by the AG. He said that. Did you know that?
No, I'm not aware.
Well, that again is making history, making up history again. That domestic violence bill has quite an interesting history, Tim. It came about at the time Desmond Bradford was in all the Halicassay with his wife. Remember that?
When he pushed his wife with his foot.
He pushed his wife with his foot and all that kind of stuff. Your younger readers won't know anything about that, but every now and again you should remind them to him. That was at the same time. So it was embarrassing that a bill would come before the House to protect women from domestic violence when a leading member of the House, an MP, was in the courts for kicking his wife down some stairs and holding a gun to her head. So it was very embarrassing for them. And that is why it was adjourned not once, but 3 times, Tim. And it's Lorraine Williams, who was AG at the time, who took it up and delivered quite an angry reason for why she was going to do it in the Senate, whereas it normally is done in the lower house.
Yeah.
So again, I was told that our Speaker said that, and if he said that, he's wrong. And finally, I don't want to sound petty, Tim, but the first time you will see Sulphur City written or spoken of was by yours truly. Of course, it became and is a regular name now, Sulphur City, just like I used to have Talk City. Remember?
Yeah. Yes.
So perhaps rest in peace, the permanent secretary. Maybe he used it, but the author of Sulphur City was yours truly.
Yeah, but not the permanent secretary is referring to. He's referring there to Brian McDonald, the former sports reporter of Radio St. Lucia, Brian McDonald.
He's the one who said that?
No, he's the caller earlier on made reference to a McDonald, right? It was Brian McDonald, the sports reporter, former sports reporter.
Brian McDonald, or was he talking about the permanent secretary?
No, Brian McDonald.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
Well, I give you the history now.
Yeah.
The history is all there, Tim. It's all there, recorded. People, we need to know more about ourselves so we can see ourselves not necessarily as cockroaches all the time. Thanks a lot, Tim.
All right, Rick. Thank you so much for calling. Somebody says there via WhatsApp, Tim, please ask Emma what are these social programs that she's referring to. She's yet to say. It's very easy to say there are social programs, but what do they entail? This government loves to throw general ideas around. That's according to a WhatsApp message. That's a broadcast. Thank you so much for watching and listening to another edition of the world's most monitored talk show. Don't forget to like the video, share, subscribe to the YouTube channel, and click the notification bell to help the channel grow. My name is Timothy Poleon. Goodbye.